which will segue beautifully into the other game that I saw behind closed doors, Fort Solis. Because that was also another demo that gives you absolutely no context of what the actual full game's going to be. So this is the first game from this studio. And the thing that they, when they announced this game, the sort of like key aspect of this game was the voice acting on it, which is funny because it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Roger Clark and Troy Baker, and I always forget her name.
Yeah.
But so this is a space game. I'm going to assume a space horror game, although there is absolutely no element of horror in the demo that they
Oh,
play
really?
for you. The demo that was there, which I understand now after seeing it why it was like behind closed doors, because it really
Sure.
was just a mood setting. It is, you are on a ship inspecting it. You find some environmental story stuff going on. Like, you can tell that clearly something's weird. Unclear what any of that weirdness is. Like, there's not even a hint of, is it zombies? Is it aliens? Is it some sort of weird space coup? I don't know.
And this takes
Um,
place on Mars, or
yeah, I guess. I think so. Yeah. Mars. Yeah. Um, yeah, the demo is just you walking around checking stuff out. You get to like an area and it's just like, oh no, like, oh, you're trapped. Like, you got to like activate some power and go on a train and activate some power, and some jump scares happen. What, like, the only like action in the demo was like you enter through some hatches, or like some, sliding doors, and a cart is careening towards you, and there's a QTE of you to like dive out of the way or don't push anything, and the cart just kind of rams into you, and you're like, ah, shit. And like, there was no anything that went with that. It was just like what the cutscene played out as. And you're having communication with your party throughout it. And I mean, atmospherically, it was spooky. It sounded good. It looked fine. It's clearly an early game, but it didn't feel like there's other horror games out there right now that looked better. But
this is due right now. It says due Q3 2023.
yeah, I believe that because I think
Okay.
they're trying to keep stuff secret, and they seemed confident about it. And they also said the key when I was talking to them was that this game is going to be a 7-hour game. They expect it to be
Oh
7
yeah,
hours,
sold.
which
I'm
which is
sold.
like, okay, a spooky, highly
Condensed.
thematic. I'm like, again, I guess I'm guessing horror. I actually don't really know. I mean, the
I
everything
mean, everything thematically and
every
visually seems to.
seems to be space horror.
Yep.
It may just be space madness. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
It's
But
a Ren and Stimpy episode. Yeah.
yeah. No, you're gonna sit in a bathtub and eat a bar of soap. But
Cool.
I mean, like, it's clearly got. It's crazy that this is the studio's first game, and it's like the publisher isn't a huge publisher. It's like Dear Villagers. Uh, it seems like it's like well thought out. It seems like it's going to be well put together based on what that demo was. If the whole game holds up to what the demo's sort of like feel was, yeah, sign me up. But like, when she said it was going to be like 7 hours is what what the final tally of playtime was, I was like, oh wow, that changes everything with my opinion.
Really?
Because horror has a problem of not knowing when to stop.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
horror video games. Uh, the more condensed it is, I always feel like horror plays best as short stories than full length.
7 hour to me is a short story.
That's
By
what I'm saying.
comparison. Oh
In
yeah.
terms of video game stuff, like
Yeah.
um, anything longer than that, it's just going to be like, how long?
Yep.
Like, as much as I loved Dead Space, that game just kind of keeps going and
Keeps
going
dragging.
and
Yep.
going. And by the time you get to the end of it, you're overpowered, and it's not spooky anymore. It's just
Mm-hmm.
hard. So it's because of the enemies have to be tougher, and you're the final boss fights and stuff. It stops being every game is like that, where it's just like,
Yep.
well, it's not like Resident Evil. By the time you get to the end of a Resident Evil game, you're overpowered. You've if you played
You
it
can
right,
obliterate the first.
yeah, if you played it right, you've got enough ammo and some high powered guns to
Yep.
get you through it. But a 7-hour game means that they understand
Awesome.
this is a short story of horror games. So I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to
Sweet.
seeing what this ends up being. So yeah.